Back here at the Vidal-Levine Center on the campus of SIUE, and a 75-69 lead, 3:30 to play here in the second half. And during that timeout, the officials were reviewing a three-point attempt by Miles Taylor.
Yeah, checking on to see if it was a 3 or a 2, and that's one of those things, Pat, they've kind of adjusted this year that what they do is you can ask them to look at that at a timeout. So as opposed to just doing it in the flow of the game, you wait till the next media timeout, and the officials go back and they review it then, and it's to help the speed of the game, obviously. And he decided it was a 2. He had his toe on the line.
And so, after this timeout, the under 4 media timeout, back to action here, and it'll be Miles Taylor after he was fouled inside by Keaton Jackson, and will go to the line to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, or at least attempt to, and he does.
Gets back the point. They took off of his not 3.
There you go. 76% free throw shooter. So the big guy can shoot from inside and out. He's been very impressive, and he's having a solid junior season, obviously, averaging 15.5 per game. Inside they go to Nunn. Nunn misses, but there's Keaton Jackson with the rebound. He got shoved from behind, but no foul call.
He moved him a foot and a half.
You don't generally just move that way.
The Cougars are happy to have the offensive board. Don't worry about the foul. Keep possession, and look at how much time they're eating off the clock. This is exactly what you want to do at this point.
This is textbook for Lennox Forrester, and Chris Davis inside and scores.
And that's best case scenario. Eat that much time and then get points at the end of the possession.
18 points now for Chris Davis. You got 24 for Donovan Stewart. And for UT Martin, now they're shooting from the outside. It's gone cold, at least from three-point. They're 2 of 10. They're going 5 of 9 in the first half. I say that, and look what happens with Terrence Smith knocking down the 3. I should have kept my mouth shut.
And Terrence Smith, he can be scary. That's his second one here. He had 4, as I mentioned, at UT Martin in January. And
maybe Jason James, the head coach of UT Martin, is just trying to motivate his player in a way. Had no play in the first half, and suddenly he's lighting it up. He's got 10 here in the second half.
Look, you're really, really good over 35, 36 minutes. Maybe if we condense that to be, 15, 17 minutes, we'll be even better.
Yeah, I don't think any coach is that smart. Jason James, the St. Louis product, the Parkway West graduate in '96. We mentioned he also was a coach at Forest Park Community College for a time before he went to UT Martin as assistant. I think 7 years as an assistant at UT Martin, becoming the head coach now in his 5th season as the head man. Chris Davis, well loved.
It's a true fan right there.
Absolutely. Makes the second.
That was Chris Davis pullout. I don't even know where that came from.
Well, there's wonderful things you can do at Kinko's these days, I guess. 79-73 is the lead. 20 points now for Chris Davis. And he's pushing Donovan Stewart for game high honors here at this point. 4 behind Stewart right now. Under 2 minutes to play. What has been an exceptionally entertaining game here for the fans at the Vidal-Levine Center, especially since their team has got the lead. The long three-pointer, no good by Libo, but the rebound goes to the Cougars. And Donovan Stewart.
It's not often the Cougars have 2 players to score 20 or more. They actually had it earlier this year in a non-Division I game against Robert Morris Springfield. Messer and Wiltz that night each had 20.
It's going to be turned over to the Skyhawks as they were trying not to necessarily commit the foul, but putting 3-4 guys on the ball. (79-73) remains the lead, now down to 1:12 to play. This is Libo. They go inside to Taylor, and Taylor off glass and good. 1:01 to go, in a timeout on the court by Jason James and the Skyhawks, and a 4-point advantage right now for the Cougars. So still tight ball game, really. 2-possession game, but with 101, a lot can happen in a minute and 1 second.
Yeah, it can, especially with two teams that are capable of scoring points in a hurry, and a team that's trailing that's, capable of scoring points in a hurry. And that's not lost at SIUE. They don't feel like this game's wrapped up uncertain by any means. And so it'll be an interesting last 61 seconds.
And it could come down to the free throw line, which it did in that overtime win against SEMO the other night.
No question. If you have the ability to seal things at the free throw line or push your team ahead. And right now, SIUE's in the double bonus. The Cougars 8 fouls, so UT Martin has at least one in the bonus. And a couple more fouls, they'll be in the double bonus.
And no pressure on the inbound pass. And so they'll pick up at about 3/4 court against Donovan Stewart. This is Richardson closely guarding, but over to Wiltz. Wiltz is fouled. And that'll be number 4 on Taylor. But at this point, you got to foul.
That's right. You got to foul, and if you're Jason James, you got to leave Miles Taylor in there as well because he provides a good offensive option for it.
Wilt's a good free throw shooter, just under 70%, and he hits that one.
Substitution. Checking in for UT Martin, number 12, Michael Leinwand. And for SIUE, number 14, Johnson.
Tim Johnson comes in, so you do a little switch to get some defensive help. Maybe even a better free throw shooter. Second one is also good. 2 huge free throws by Maurice Wiltz.
Big free throws. Makes it a 2-possession game.
Terrence Smith. Out to Newell. Newell drives. The reverse shot no good. Tipped around, and coming away with it is Johnson, and Johnson's fouled from behind. I'd say Chris Davis.
But, Chris Davis was smart right there, Pat. He pulled in that rebound and just held on to it. He realizes he's going to take some contact. The last thing you want is the turnover right there.
Exactly. 79 points and 20 assists combined this season from Davis and Stewart. And Lagarde's having a couple of great games. That one is Chris Davis.
Checking in for the Skyhawks, number 1, D. Oldham.
Substitution now for the Skyhawks. 6-point advantage. We'd like to see this go to 7, wouldn't you? It's a huge difference, and he does. 82-75. Quickly ahead is Richardson. 24 to play.
Keaton Jackson way out up top.
Smith. Terrence Smith hits the 3.
Over Keaton Jackson. That was right over the top of the outstretched arms of Keaton Jackson.
So you know it's got to be a high arching shot, and it was. 82-78. 13 points now for Smith.
They put Keaton Jackson out there, and now I'll tell you that he probably wasn't as aggressive as he might be at other times, because the last thing you want to do is give up a foul right there, just because honestly the 3 points are, you'll take it, you'll get the ball back.
And for SIUE, well, it's been tight games throughout the OVC. In fact, every game now we can assume with this game it'll be under 10 points, 10 points or less. And it's just been that kind of a season. And you're talking about parity amongst college basketball. Well, there's parity in the OVC as well.
There's parity in the OVC, and I think that ultimately, and how much did we talk about early in the year that Cougars were losing some of those games? They're winning some of those games now, and I think you come down the stretch where you get into an OVC tournament situation, and this team has learned a lot from playing those type of games this year.
Certainly have. They are checking to see how much time is left. I think they may add a little time, or maybe they'll just leave it where it is. Maybe they got it right the first time. Let's look one more time at the 3, and
pretty close. I mean, now that looked to me like it's through the basket.
And they did add on more.
Okay.
It's 18.8
I was
now.
going to say 18.8, 18.9. I mean, that's...
Yep. Right. Of course, closing minute, the clock stops on every made basket.
Right.
So it wasn't waiting for the timeout, which was called, but it wasn't the timeout. It was the made basket. Christian Salisic is fouled quickly there by Michael Ibo.
Salisic is 78% at the free throw line, so he's a guy they don't mind having at the free throw line in this situation.
He's got 11 points tonight. He's 3 for 4 from behind the arc. 0 for 1 at the line, though. And first one is good.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Jerry Schlemmer. He's the head athletic trainer here at SIUE. I know he's watching, and his mom's not doing great. She's been a little bit sick, so we send our thoughts and prayers out there. And I know that he'd be here if he could, and he's at home where he needs to be with mom.
Absolutely. Here's Taylor, loses it, and there's Keaton Jackson stealing the basketball, and he draws the foul, and it's all over, I think, with the final score. We're just waiting to find that out now, but it's very, very important and impressive in a lot of ways win for SIUE coming up.
You can see he just lost it, just bumbled it, and right in the hands of Keaton Jackson. And Pat, the Cougars are going to have a chance. For all practical purposes, they're going to get to 6 wins in the OVC, which ties the most they had. It's 1 more than last year. They're going to get to 10 overall wins, which is more than they had last season.
And you look at the upcoming schedule, and it'll be a tough one. The next couple will be difficult as they go out on the road again. In fact, the next 3, we've got that Belmont game coming up at the end of February here on Fox Sports Midwest. And then Eastern Illinois on March 1st. It's a 5 o'clock start time. It's a little earlier start time here at the Vidal-Levine Center. So 2 more games here on Fox Sports Midwest. So kind of withstand the rigors of going on the road for SIUE, and then back here for a couple of good ones at the end of the regular season.
And look, you can really help yourselves, obviously, if you can steal one of those games on the road.
Right.
And as you said, it's certainly not going to be easy. They're going to play at Murray State, who has only lost twice in the OVC. One of those times was
here
to SIUE.
Shot no good. Time running out, and that'll do it. 6 straight victories for the Cougars here at the Vidal-Levine Center. 84-78 is the final. Leading the way, Donovan Stewart with his 24 points, not far behind Chris Davis and his 21. I think we'll remember tonight as being one of those offensive games that the Cougars were able to withstand some of the offensive pressure of UT Martin, but in the end, just too much.
Too much, you're right. And, we said early in this game it was probably going to have to be a game like this, not necessarily what you like to see defensively, but hey, if the Cougars need to win 199, that's what it takes, and they do so. Key is they get a win and they improve their standings in the OVC.
And 9-3 now on the home court here, the Vidal-Levine Center on the campus of SIUE. As we look at the updated standings, you see it now through all the play tonight where SIUE moves into second place, a half game ahead now of Eastern Illinois. It has been quite a run, the 6 straight wins here on the home court, but it's put them in position now not only to make the conference tournament, but to be, I don't want to get ahead of myself because they have 3 tough games on the road, but certainly they're right there where you'd hope that they could be if they played well enough, and they have played very well.
They have played very well. They've made this a tough place to play for OVC opponents, and as you said, they've put themselves in good position.
Now they would be the 5 seed, but they still have 5 games to go in the regular season, 3 on the road for Lennox Forrester and his gang. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. The broadcast has been a presentation of Fox Sports Midwest. Once again, the final score from the Vidal-Levine Center, 84-78 SIUE defeats the University of Tennessee Martin. Our next Cougars telecast comes your way this February 26th as SIUE hosts the OVC East leading Belmont Bruins. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on February 26th at 7 o'clock here on Fox Sports Midwest. Good night, everyone.